1 out of every 10 people, the statistics say, in our country, 1 out of every 10 is on an antidepressant. It's 10% of the country. Some of these numbers are staggering. Like when you look at nearly 1 out of 4 women aged 40 to 60 are taking an antidepressant. 1 out of 4. Middle-aged women are taking an antidepressant because they're in control of their families and getting the holidays together, and they're stressed out. They're stressed. The medication that's most frequently used by people ages 18 to 44. So now we're talking young people coming out of high school, going through college, getting a career. They're getting stressed out, and the number 1 medication they're using, antidepressants. It's sad. Sad. The thing is, why are we going that route? Because we're all looking for a quick fix, right? The problem is really our lifestyle and what we're doing to ourselves, but we get down, we get in the dumps, we want a quick fix, let's just take a pill. Let's go to the psychiatrist, he'll write us a prescription, I can just take a pill, and I'll be happy, right? I mean, that's the problem. We're all looking for quick fixes. But ultimately, that doesn't work, because it never really gets to the source of the problem, for one thing. The source of the problem is the way you're living your life, which you're not changing. You're just continuing to keep the pedal to the metal, popping the antidepressants. And the antidepressants have side effects. You know, sometimes we don't think about this. We think medicine's the answer and it'll cure everything. When you really start looking into the information on antidepressants, a lot of the times it makes the condition worse. People that are depressed will take antidepressants and they'll become more depressed. Sometimes suicidal. Sometimes they commit suicide. The information's out there. I think there was a big article, don't quote me for sure, but I want to say it was in the Time magazine over the last couple years. There was a big article on antidepressants causing suicide. It's not the answer. So, what do we do about it? How can we naturally de-stress? Again, they're going to be simple things. They're not hard. Take a breather. Okay? I mean, we get so wired and worked up. We just go from the minute we get up to the moment we go to sleep. And then we probably don't sleep well because our brain can't shut off at night. So then we don't even get that recuperative sleep that we need, like recharging a battery. Take a breather. Right here, 15 minutes a day. If you can set aside 15 minutes a day, and that's not much. I mean, come on, guys. We're all up 15, 16, 17 hours probably, you know, easily. 15 minutes out of that. Set it aside. Again, schedule it in. If you don't schedule it, make a routine, it won't get done. If you say, well, I'll take 15 minutes for myself when I get 15 minutes, you'll never get the 15 minutes. Schedule it in. 15 minutes for yourself with no distractions. You don't have to do anything specific. Just let yourself unwind. Do some deep breathing. Go for a little walk. Just be by yourself. Let your thoughts unwind. Simple, right? Simple stuff. Learn to say no. That's a big one, especially during the holidays. We all want to be nice and, you know, we don't want to say no to anybody, but what happens? We end up overextending ourselves. We tell more people, more things that we can do than we really have the time for, the capability to do. And then what does that cause? Stress. We get stressed out about it. We get worried about it. How am I going to get all this done? And we get upset. And we get mad at the person for asking. It was ultimately your own fault because you can't say no. So learn to say no. Take a walk at night, gaze at the stars, we kind of already talked about that, listen to soothing music. Look guys, it really doesn't matter what you do. I mean, I listed a few things on here. I don't care what you do whatever you like. Yoga's great, walking's great, listening to music is great, getting a massage is great. Whatever it is, the key is just kind of being able to break the pattern of your normal day where you're having to think about so many things. Just take a little time for yourself, do whatever you enjoy, just a small portion of your day. Make a big difference. Plan ahead. So, I've kind of been talking a little bit about the importance of planning or scheduling. We talked about scheduling in your exercise, scheduling in your 15 minutes of me time or relaxation time. And this is what I'm talking about. Plan ahead, schedule it. Because not only does it help you get things done, but it helps decrease your stress. If you can say, look, this is what I need to do for the week, I'm gonna plan it out on my scheduler, then you don't have to worry about it. All you have to do is look at your schedule and say, what do I have to do right now? Okay, go do it. Instead of having to think, what's everything that I have to get done now? And you think about it all at once, right? And it's overwhelming and stressful. So plan ahead. Whether we're talking about shopping, getting, we've all got Christmas gifts to buy, plan ahead. Figure out what you're going to buy, who you're going to buy it for. If financial issues are a concern for you, which can cause a lot of stress for people, not being able to afford the things that we want to buy for everybody for Christmas, make a budget. Realize what you can actually spend, and then stick to it. Okay? Instead of causing the extra added stress of spending money you don't have, now using the plastic credit card, racking up the debt and the interest, it's just going to put us into a bigger hole, adding more financial stress. You might think, what's the chiropractor talking about financial stress for, right? And I'm not a financial expert, don't get me wrong, but I know that finances are one of the biggest causes of stress. And I know how bad stress is on your health. And I am an expert in your health. So that's the connection. When it comes to your gifts, another idea is you don't have to worry about spending so much money all the time. Get creative. Think outside the box. Most of the time, at least when you're dealing with adults, we appreciate a creative, funny, or thoughtful gift more than one that's an expensive gift at the store. Maybe you still need to buy your wife something nice, Steve. But everybody else, just a nice, thoughtful, funny gift. Just kidding. But, again, just those are ideas where finances are an issue. It doesn't always have to be the most expensive thing. Get creative. Think outside the box. Anything else I want to talk about here? No, not really. Let's move on. So again, remember, we're talking about how do we de-stress. I'm giving you some tips. One is planning ahead with all the different things that you have to do. Here's another one, and I talk about this every single time that I do one of these talks. Essential fatty acids. I brought it up a couple times before this slide, kind of leading into it, saying we get back to it. The perfect ratio omega. This is what it looks like. I have a picture of it here. Again, my office is not the only place where you can get essential fatty acids. Get them wherever you want. I do have some guidelines you should follow to make sure you're getting the right stuff and a good product. Get them wherever you want. I don't care. But get them. I mean, seriously, if you guys aren't on these by now, at least you guys, because you've heard this a couple times, what's wrong with you? Get on them. Maybe you haven't heard it, so you have one excuse. One excuse. But these are essential fatty acids. And let's go back to the cell. Okay? Remember, the cell is like a balloon or a ball that makes up your body. You have thousands and thousands of them in you. This is simple biology or anatomy 101. That's what makes up your body. It's all these little balloons called cells. The outer lining of that cell, the wall, that keeps certain things in and certain things out and allows the exchange of nutrients in and out and all that, the wall is made up of essential fatty acids. And so the health of your cell is going to largely depend upon how many essential fatty acids you're ingesting that can be in that wall of the cell. Again, think of like the grape. How healthy would the grape be if you tore all the skin off of it? Not as healthy. How healthy would the tree be if you tore all the bark off? Wouldn't live, it would die. How healthy would you be if I tore all your skin off? You'd die. Well, that's the skin of the cell. Think of it that way. It's the outer layer, the cellular wall. It's essential fatty acids. So I bring that up because I want you to understand that essential fatty acids, they're good for every single system in your body because they're all made up of cells. Your heart, your cardiovascular system, your lungs, your skin, anything you can think of, your eyes, your ears, your nose. You think of it, it's made up of cells. An important part of that cellular wall is essential fatty acid. So it's good for everything, okay? And the reason I'm saying that is because I want you to realize how amazing essential fatty acids are. And I really don't do them service by listing a few things that they can do because there's too many. Again, they're good for everything. But I'm listing a few here of the biggies that essential fatty acids can do. And again, I talk about these every time, but today's real focus in this slide is on how they help you deal with stress, because stress robs us of our health. Essential fatty acids are extremely important for brain function. There's a certain component of the fatty acid, DHA. It might be more information than what you want to know, but again, you can't just go out and buy fish oil and say, oh, I got it. It might not have any DHA in it. You didn't do yourself any good for brain health. DHA is a component of the fish oil that's very important for improving, enhancing, and maintaining brain function. Our brain has a lot of essential fatty acid in it. So they did some studies. We always like studies because it validates what we do. They did a study on bipolar and depression. Now listen to this. What they found was that these essential fatty acids actually blocked the signaling in the brain that caused a manic state, meaning the brain to be overexcited, hyperactive. It blocked the signaling when that occurred, and the essential fatty acids blocked the signaling for going into the depressed state, when the brain slows down too much, gets depressed, and causes depression, that we all think we have to run to the psychiatrist for and get an antidepressant. Look, you take your essential fatty acids, something that your body's supposed to have, and that blocks those signaling patterns. And guess what? The side effects for essential fatty acids, you know what the side effects are? Lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol and triglycerides, preventing cancer, healthy skin, anti-inflammatory. Now those are some side effects I'd like to have versus most drugs, right? Because this isn't a drug, this is a natural product. You can get it in fish, just eat fish. So we don't eat too much fish. Not that I want to get on the topic of fish, but it can be too high in mercury and heavy metals and PCBs. So you want to make sure you're getting a good oil that has that stuff distilled out of it. Let's move on. The flu, number 5 robber of joy during the holiday seasons. The flu never fails every year. It seems like when the weather gets bad, we get into school season, up through the holidays, more people, you notice, have the sniffles. Say they have the cold, right? More flus. And we all think, again, because we live in this medical model, we all think that the answer to that is go get your flu shot, right? Go get your flu shot. That'll help you from getting the flu. I want you to understand a couple of really important things. Really important. When it comes to the flu shot, first of all, majority of the symptoms that we get that feel like the flu, you know, the achy muscles, the soreness, the sniffles, sneeze, cough, achy, all those feelings, fatigue, tired, usually it's not the actual influenza virus, which is what the flu is. Usually they're influenza-like viruses. There's some others that are named, probably don't care, so I'm not going to get into them. I just want you to understand that most of the time when you think you have the flu, it's not even the true influenza virus. It's a different type of virus, which means that the flu shot wouldn't do any good for that. Secondly, I want you to realize this. The flu shot has never been proven through any valid studies to be effective at all. And it's not just me saying that. This is the Chief Control Vaccine Officer of the FDA. I know this is a little small for you guys to read, but that's what it says there. This is a quote by the Chief Control Vaccine Officer of the FDA, or the former one. He used to be. He's quoted as saying, "There's no evidence that any flu vaccine thus far developed is effective in preventing or mitigating any attack of influenza," which is the flu. "The producers of these vaccines know that. They are worthless, but they go on selling them anyway." I never like to read from the slides because that's boring. I remember when my teachers used to do that, and I thought, that's boring. I could take the slide, show them home. But I read that because I wanted you to hear the exact quote of the guy who used to work at the FDA, who was in charge of our safety when it comes to vaccines. He's in charge of the safety and effectiveness of vaccines, and that's what he said. There's no proof they work.
He used to work there?
Yeah.
He got fired after that?
I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know why he's the former. Either he had a guilty conscience and he quit, or he started making statements like that and he didn't work there anymore. I don't know. I don't know. So, down here, again, I know these are a little hard to read. I apologize. I someday will update my technology, but the good news is I know what they say for the most part. Over here, this one talks about one of the mist, one of the sprays, flu shots, not really a shot, it's a spray that they can give to children or adults that is actually the live flu virus. This one's a live flu virus, which means that they're extremely contagious at that point. I mean, you have the live flu virus shot into you. Most vaccines don't use live viruses, but the particular flu mist spray shot, it does.